Good evening.
Good evening.
I didn't know you guys worked this late.
Usually we don't. Hey, Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Where is Cooper Beebe in the concussion protocol? And just as a bigger question after that, just how has he developed into playing that position full time for a season first time?
Cooper Beebe, it's going to be tough for the short week, but he's making progress. Specifically where he is, I mean, I can't tell you what stage, but he's done a really good job. I mean, he's a young player, play as a rookie. I think just like anything, his job responsibility, communication, identification, the mental part of it, he's done a really nice job. I've been very pleased with that, and I think if you go back to the spring and OTAs, just the improvement in the snapping and all that goes into playing the position. So I think, as a rookie, I think it's unique for what he's done. But, it's been a long year. He's, really worked particularly on line movement, the nose rocking and things like that, and he's improved there. But he's been extremely, extremely consistent for a young man. He's got great, professional skills as far as his approach and so forth. And I think he's just scratching the surface.
Clarence Hill, City, Dallas. Certainly, you've been very honest about how devastating that loss was and what it meant for your season and the locker room after the game. What's the message now to the team, and what do you tell them to keep them going? What's the motivational message here?
I mean, the motivation is just obviously simply beat Carolina, but I mean it's just like anything. We're all committed to this season, and it's I'm not a big fan of just putting up a bunch of numbers and so forth and showing the different criteria. We know the only thing that matters is to beat the Panthers, and then we obviously, just like everybody, we'll be watching what's going on around us. I think just identifying and who they are, how they're playing. Particularly recently, played them last year. Didn't play very well over there last year. I was disappointed in the way we performed there last year. So a lot of players that played in that game and for both teams are back. So. Just really staying on top of the little things, and because this week goes so fast. 6 day week as it's going to be here before you know it. Expecting rain. I think it's 75-80% rain. Probability. So we did the wet ball drills today. So just things like that. But like I said, and it's just not a bunch of talk. I mean, this is a locker room that's close. It's tight. They work. We had a good day today.
Saji, The Athletic. Mike, obviously with the player like Jonathan Mingo, you acquired him mid-season from this team. How much do you tap into what he might know or anything? Is there any real value to that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always conversations that go on there. I didn't specifically sit down and speak to him, but I do know that there's other coaches that have. So that's common. But like I said, it's a new staff. First year. I thought the video of last year's game, just because of the matchups and so forth, there's value in that. But it's just like any in this league. Everybody has the information and ability to study them, but I think we have to really pay attention, particularly how well they played, in the last month. So that's what we're focused on.
Nick Harris, for Star Telegram. There's been a couple of guys that have taken advantage of increased opportunities. Chauncey Golston's been one of those. What do you attribute Chauncey's growth to?
Well, I think Chauncey's had an incredible experience here. I mean, you look at the different, just the different positions that he's played throughout. He's came up as a young guy, which I think is the best path, playing on special teams in a backup at your particular position. But if you look at, not only the different techniques, from an assignment standpoint, whether it's the 3 technique all the way out to the 9, there's a lot of value in that, and also playing in different systems. Instinctive, very aware. Football, very natural, to him. But I think you're really getting to see his opportunity this year of playing consistently in one spot. So I think it's really benefited him just being out there at the end position.
And is DeMarcus Lawrence any closer to practicing this week?
No, I don't see DeMarcus practicing this week.
Joe Hoyt, All City Dallas. 2-part question. How did you think Chuma Doga did at left tackle on Monday night? And then with Tyler Guyton, full participant, I know a walkthrough today, but kind of where is he from a health standpoint?
Yeah, I thought Chuma played well. He obviously had a hell of a matchup, and and we definitely was focused on it from a scheme standpoint too, as far as having help over there. But thought he did a nice job. You know, I think just really coming back from what he's come back from too. I've been very impressed how quickly he's come back, and you know the urgency that he's had to play, and he'll continue just to get better with each week. But Tyler Guyton, you know, I thought he did a hell of a job coming off of a Thursday night game, doing all the extra stuff. Saw him in here over the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, and made himself available for Monday night. So I thought that was huge. But he's definitely making progress. Was a full participant today.
Mike, Josh Tolentino, Lone Star Live. Today, Rico noted a lot of things that he's done, like in his routine in terms of recovery and also his diet. Points of emphasis as he takes on a bigger workload. What have you noticed about how he just kind of attacks every day, and especially specifically, you know, over the past 3 weeks?
Yeah, I've had a chance to watch him from day one, so he's obviously grown in every area. You know, really proud of what he does off the field and everything. Just, I mean, it's cool to see young men, you know, grow and develop. And you know, and he's had that injury bug there early. You know, he's fought through that, and has really taken advantage of this opportunity. I think like anything, you know, particularly in a running back room, the opportunity to be a number one, have a one guy, you know, he's done a good job. But I'd like to see him take another step. Frankly, I'd like to see him, you know, be a third down back. You know, I like to see him play first, second, and third down. So I know he's working on that, and because you know he's done some really good things in protection in the past. But you know, I think clearly, you know, he's doing well with opportunities. You know, his running style is something we've always loved about him. I mean, you can see it day one. You remember the first time Rico touched the ball, you know, he ran for a touchdown on kickoff return. So, but it's good to see him taking care of his body, and you know, and look for him to have another big opportunity Sunday.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, you started out your coaching career in college. What are your thoughts of Bill Belichick going to college and coaching at the University of North Carolina?
So he's going to North Carolina? Okay, wow, that's great. It's a beautiful place. I think. No, I'm serious. You know, I think it's cool. I really do. So you know, coaching's coaching. So I'll say one thing: there'll be someone to be reckoned with. You know, a lot of respect for Bill and the job that he's always done. It's always very difficult to compete against. But that's a whole new realm. You know, I haven't been here since 1992. I couldn't imagine what it's like now, especially with all the changes. But congratulations to him. I'm happy for him.
Quick follow-up. Being in Carolina, your quarterback coach at heart, what have you seen from Bryce Young? He's playing his best football this season heading into your
playmaking. I think that's the thing that you really see. I mean, he's obviously comfortable. They are in the first year, first year of their new offense and ball game. His quarterback coach is doing a great job. So I'm really proud of him. But I think the thing that really stands out. I mean, just watch the last series of the Philadelphia game. It's just his playmaking ability. He's 22 sacks on the season. So I think when you go through those challenges as a young quarterback, his ability in tune with the line and the protection, I think they're definitely better in that area. So, but I think he has a good feel for their offense. But the thing that I've seen compared to last year is definitely his playmaking ability. In the extended play phase above the 2.3. I think he's doing a really good job.
Babe Loffenberg, 105.3 The Fan. Mike, so when you came into the league, as to compared to what it is now for these rookies, fewer college games were played at the time. They didn't have the training that they do now to get ready for the combine. So the year has become kind of so long in terms of duration for these rookies. In terms of college season ends, they're 3 months training. You have the OTAs and the mini camps and an extra game. Have you noticed that it's a little more difficult for these rookies getting through the year now because of that?
Absolutely. I think it's a challenge for your the whole locker room. Frankly, I think 17 games. I think 17 games is real. I mean, it's real. I know it's something that if there's something I've spent probably the most time on in the whole year schedule layout, it's been clearly post Thanksgiving. I think you have to, as a head coach, you got to put a lot of time and energy in the training of the team. The sports science components of it. Having the medical and the strength and conditioning aligned. And I think there's things you can do in the meeting structure, rest and recovery. We've really stepped up our game this year. I give our Britt Brown in particular a lot of credit. You know, that we've added more modalities there that have been beneficial. So I think clearly this month is important. You know, I've always gone to a winter schedule. You know, did it more up in Green Bay because it's dark at 2 o'clock. You know, just those types of things. And so we actually started our winter schedule this week. So, and I think those things are real important. So yes, clearly you can see it in the young guys. It's a conversation and something I think you definitely have to educate on. You know, because this stretch, you know, from Thanksgiving to playoff time has always been a challenge. I felt, especially here in Dallas.
Okay. I know there was, with DeMarcus, I know there's some optimism earlier about sooner rather than later, right after Thanksgiving, by him and the club. Now you missed the 2 games, there are only 3 left. Are you still optimistic he'll be able to come back this season? And does it get to a point when a veteran's been out that long where returning for only a game or so, 2, doesn't make sense?
I have not been part of that conversation. You know, I know we have 4 games left. Yeah, I think there's definitely excitement, you know, around the Thanksgiving game as far as the communication about him, you know, from the medical staff. But you know, I mean, it's a significant injury that he's coming back from, and you know, I just know he still has more work to do. Is basically what was communicated to me. So, and he will not be, he will not be available this week.
Mike, during your year out in 2019, did you ever consider the college ranks or anything like that?
I did not, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I do believe coaching's coaching. Frankly, I got into coaching to coaching college. You know, I didn't, when I went to the University of Pittsburgh as a volunteer coach and, and then graduate assistant, and then it became a full-time coach my last year there. If they had offered me a 20-year contract, I would have taken it. I just thought that's major college was the goal, and because I didn't play at that level, but I just felt college was what I was drawn to, because my ambitions at that time were to be able to work with young men at a period of time that can truly affect their lives. Just for personal experiences and things like that, and then I was given an opportunity in '93 to go to the Kansas City Chiefs, and and here I am, and what I still do really appreciate is the younger players, because and that's probably why I gravitate so much towards the design of how we train, and ironically being a draft and develop team for a lot of my career, so I'm really engaged in that part of coaching. Not that I don't like the older players or anything, but I do think this is, and the league's gotten a lot younger since then too, frankly. So, but that was really my ambition, was the college game when I started coaching.
And with the way the college game has gone, like you mentioned with NIL, all this stuff, has it become a little bit more like the pros to where it's more conducive for a pro coach to now go and adjust smoother to that?
I hope so for Bill. I mean, you know about it more than I do, frankly. My friends in college football, they just they really want to get in the NFL more than ever. But no, it just has changed so much. It's changed so much in the last 5 years. But I'm not the guy. I'm not the individual that asks about the specifics.
Mike, the short week, tough on coaches, tough on players. You said you're in here, 7 a.m. on Tuesday after, what time you went to bed after Monday night. But I don't want to jinx you, but you're 9-0, or you've won your last 9 games.
Stop right there.
You've won your last 9 games on a short week.
Okay.
Is there anything that you have done that you found that works?
I would just say that our process has been the same. I've always been a forecast approach as a coach, meaning when you lay out the job responsibilities for the coaching staff, we work ahead, and I think everybody does, I would assume. But I think our assistant coaches do a tremendous job. I think our analytics team does an excellent job. The video department, because really when Thursday night hits, and I see it as I'm working on the first 15. A lot of guys are now turning the page, going on to the next game. So our guys do a really good job of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, making sure that they're ready to go on Mondays. And obviously, in a short week, it's the intensity is up. But I just think our staff does a really good job in that area.
I'm assuming you personally, you don't want to get 2 game plans in your head.
No, I don't.
Like
Tried it a
yeah.
few times. Yeah, no, exactly. I'll watch tape with other coaches. Like if I go into Brian's office or I go into Brian, coaches, and they're watching Carolina last week, I'll sit in there and watch a game with them and just talk generalities. But yeah, I've tried it. I've tried to work, like on a Monday night game, I've tried to work Sunday afternoons or Sunday evening on the next game, and even as a young coach, I didn't really like it. So, especially if you're calling. I mean, as an assistant coach, you could do it, but not as a play caller. I think that's I know guys that do it, so it's not that it's not done.
Joe White, All-City Dallas. Carolina, the last 5 games, 2 wins, but they've been playing teams really tough in Kansas City and Philly last week. Have you noticed a difference from them they were struggling early in the season? Does the film breakdown go that far, or have you noticed?
No, I think like anything. I mean, defensively, and just knowing, AJ and Dom and just the history of the defense. I mean, it's always a challenge when you play this defense schematically, but. I think clearly the consistency that their offensive line is given. You can see, I think that's been very evident. Obviously, Bryce is playing better in Oklahoma State. Man, he's it's unfortunate Jonathan was injured, but yeah, I think just they're playing well. I mean, they're just playing better.
Monet, Dallas Cowboys media. A minute ago when you were talking about the special emphasis on this part of the year, you said especially here in Dallas. What do you think it is about Dallas that makes the planning for this part of the year a little bit different?
Well, just number one, our schedule. We were just our travel. Late night. We may not travel. The volume of miles, but we play a lot of night games. I just think it's. It's just different. I mean, we're all a product of our experiences. I spent 13 years getting home at 8 o'clock every Sunday night. So and it keeps you in a flow. I mean, what we do, so much of what we do, regularity is very important in training. Teams. Developing group dynamics, whether it's socially, emotionally, mentally. Regularity helps. Flow is important, I think. How you schedule a team, how you train, your teaching progressions, all that, all that plays into it. So I just think when you do have consistency of schedule, it does help you a little bit. So what I've learned is I try to adjust it and just move things around because, the self-discipline of the individual is so critical to being successful, not only as an individual, but definitely in a team setting. So we just continue to educate and try to apply those teachings and just learn from the things in the past. But and I've talked on this before. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but I'm always very critical if I feel like I can schedule something better that's best for the group, not just for the individual.
Thank you.